Hi, it's Chris Watkin here, and I'm with Matt and Neil Baldock, who are estate agents from Chelmsford, and they've built their business on personal recommendations and networking in Chelmsford. So, chaps, how do you build an estate agency on the back of recommendations? Talk to me.
Well, start with business.
Well, I was just going to say, first of all, in terms of networking, you've got anything you're going to do you've got to be in it for the long game. There's not going to be a quick win. So
Are we talking about these BNIs and things like that?
Yeah, BNI. I mean, I was the president of the biggest chapter of BNI in Essex for a while, and it did very well for us. It doesn't fit my life circumstances now with the children and things like that, but
Too many cooked breakfasts.
well, yeah. Thanks very much, Chris. But yeah, I do enjoy
No,
it.
I like it as well.
But on the business networking side of things, you've got to find the one that suits you. So, for instance, I mean, the good thing about the big two of us, we could do that. So, I could never go to a BNI meeting. You know, if I had to go and sub for Neil, I'd have sleepless nights about it the night before. I absolutely hated it. But I do my own business networking. Whereas Neil comes to that, and he used to think that was a bit too relaxed and informal. But they both return.
Okay, so we've got different types of networking. The BNIs and your things are more formal way. I mean, isn't it a bit of a funny thing where you've got bits of paper and you've got to stand up for 30 seconds and give a pitch?
Well, no, not again. It depends on the type of person you are. So I like the structured way that works. Some people don't. But the point for me of networking is you're buying yourself a sales and marketing team, and you're developing relationships. So when people are asking for recommendations, you've got your team of networkers out there,
yes,
giving you those recommendations.
That's interesting. I've got a tip for you for boys and girls out there when it comes to BNI meetings. Is that I got hinched into one in Belfast years ago, and the agent stood up, who I was friends with, and he said, and just about every single person in the room said the same sort of pitch. You know, you have 30-second elevator pitch. You know the one. You know, hi, my name is Leave Space for Name, and I do leave space for whatever business I do. And if you know anyone that's looking for my business, give me a shout. But there was one guy in that room who I still recommend 7 or 8 years later.
Yeah.
I listened to his 30-second elevator pitch. I went up to him and spoke to him for about a minute, and I still recommend him.
Yeah.
And what he did is he told a story. He stood up and basically said, I've got this couple who wanted to swim with dolphins, ride on the back of elephants for their honeymoon. Everyone said it wasn't applicable, wasn't affordable, but I basically, because I'm a bespoke travel agent, I booked the individual flights in local currency, and I was able to get them that, and they came back with their photo album with tears saying, you've helped us. And I think we as agents in BNIs and things like that is, instead of trying to say, hi, I'm an estate agent, if you know anyone, tell stories.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah, well, and also be specific in who you're looking for. There's no point in going and saying, I'm looking for anyone who wants to sell or let a house, because, okay, well, I'm waiting to find someone that wants that. If you go and ask for solicitors that could potentially introduce you to probate valuations, accountants who could...
Are these your tips for BNIs?
These are my tips, yeah. So I always look, when I'm networking, I'm looking for who could introduce me to people, not necessarily the house sale or let that day.
Right, so you're treating networking as finding people, not necessarily finding direct business.
Absolutely.
And also speak to fewer people for longer. Right, much like, you know, if you're going to go leafleting, rather than leafleting 10,000 houses once, leaflet 1,010 times.
I agree with you on that one.
Same thing with that, you know, spend 20 minutes with 3 people, you know, rather than a minute with 60 people.
But also it goes back to landlord farming that we do and things like that. It's networking is farming, not hunting as well. You should go to networking with the view that you're going to see how you can help other businesses.
Very much so.
Because if you do it with that attitude and you help people, they'll also want to help
Give
you.
as receive, you're actually guilting them in. Okay, so that's networking. What's your recommendations on getting recommendations?
Yeah.
You have to be in the community, and it sounds very simple, but don't pretend to be in the community. My biggest bugbear at the minute is there seems to be 100 different estate agency coaches out there that are telling people, try and get yourself in the community's eye. Show that you don't show, just be in there. What I found when I came out of employment, I worked for a big company who could throw money at everything. Come out of your own company, you don't have the money to start sponsoring absolutely everything, but you've got time. And actually, these people
don't need to spend money, do you?
People want your time. Literally this week, for instance, I worked out at my kids' school and at most schools, they weren't going to get to see Father Christmas this year. Then what I realised was I have a Father Christmas sized brother who happened to have a Father Christmas costume. Nothing weird. He'd been one at school a little while ago. So literally, we asked if we could go down there, walk around the perimeter, and wave at the kids. They loved it. The community loved it. We didn't have him wearing a Charles David Casson board or anything like that. But it actually just feels like it's nice to be nice. You know, you feel good about yourself. We probably do 70 to 80% of our business of recommendations.
Yeah, absolutely.
But,
and really, you just give a good service and an authentic service, and also don't be afraid to ask for
Well, they're
it.
going to remember that, aren't they? I hope you took a few photos of it.
We did. We took a few photos of that, but I do also think sometimes there's a time to publicise and there's a time not to. So that obviously went out on social media. We do every year. We sponsor their school fete, so we have the boards up, that kind of thing. This year they weren't having one. We paid them the money we would usually anyway. So sometimes there is money to be good. We didn't actually publicise that. That just felt the right thing to do. This is the first time I've spoken about it. I'm not looking for any awards. I did some old people shopping during lockdown I've never met before. We put out on our Charles David Casson page, anyone needs help, let me. We didn't have a picture of me with my arm around Derek and saying, I'm getting you shopping, because
Derek's quite small.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But it's just, I think, actually, if you're just authentic and you're out there in the community on a daily basis and helping and just being about, if you want to be people's local go-to agent, just be there.
Yeah. There's plenty of people that offer help, but actually doing
Yeah, and it sounds really simple. It sounds really simple when you say it out loud, but trying to telling people you're in the community is different to being in the community.
Okay. Matt, Neil, I think you'll agree, boys and girls, they've been exceptional, which is part of a number of videos we've done. Please check out the playlist on my YouTube channel. And I just want to say thank you for taking the time and trouble to coming up.
No, thanks so much, Chris.
Thanks for having us, Chris.
Hope you've enjoyed it, and I wish you well for 2021.
Andrew, thank you.
Thanks, man. Cheers.